So this is what we have to work with. Let's see what we can make out of this place. What's up guys? It feels so good to be back. I'm in this workshop for the very first time. As you can see, I was setting it up. And today I'm not gonna tell you something that you don't already know. Everything I'm gonna say is probably something you already know inside of yourself. And actually, there was a comment that I read the other day that was kind of made me frustrated. Actually, first, I wanna tell you about kind of how I got here. And so, first of all, I started making bows when I was a teenager, when I was 14 years old. I just started with the tools my dad had in the garage. He had an old draw knife and that's all I started with. All right, I'm gonna show you around the shop a little bit. We've got clamps here, bandsaw here, the perfect height that the wood will run off onto this table. And at that point, I was trying to do all the research, find any information I could on how to bow make, and I heard a rasp is good. And a Nicholson 49 rasp was top notch. So for every Christmas, for every birthday, I would ask for a tool that could help me with my bow making. And I asked for that rasp, which was like 2 or 3 times the price range we were supposed to get for our Christmas. But my sister ended up getting me the Nicholson 49 rasp, and it was the best thing ever. Over here, we've got our tape, our extra wood, a bunch of maple, oak, epay, different veneers, etc. Up here, we've got our glues, our stains, our finishes, paper towels, our lovely EA40 chronograph, extra wood, extra tools. Got some new products coming out soon. And so, I didn't have any wood. I wouldn't recommend doing this, but what I did during the Super Bowl, I figured nobody would be outside, everyone's watching TV. I went down to, it was actually a cemetery near our house, found a piece of Osage, a sapling, cut it down, and I drug it back to our house. Now we were in a neighborhood, so I don't know. I shouldn't have done that, but it's how I got started in bow making. So here's that very Nicholson 49 rasp, and the first bow I made with this rasp from the wood from the cemetery is this Osage orange bow right here. And you can check it out, all the rasp marks are still in the wood. Absolutely crazy. From there, when I got married, I moved into an apartment, continued bow making. I made this recurved Osage orange sinew back bow that was pretty sweet on the floor of an apartment, because you can make bows anywhere with just a few basic tools. And then from there, I moved into a house, got into some more woodworking. From that house, I moved to another house, and this is where the YouTube channel started. I have a fear of cameras, or I used to, and so I decided that I don't want anything to have control over me. So I love bow making. I'm gonna try to make a video about bow making And the first time I went to go make a video in this little shed, I was so nervous. I was shaking like crazy, and it was very, very difficult. What's up, everybody? Thank you for joining me. It is a beautiful rainy day outside, and we're gonna work on refinishing this bow, so let's get to it. I made this bow I think actually 5 years ago. Essentially what I did is I built the finished bow before the wood had finished drying. When you're gonna build a bow, I think optimal moisture within the wood. But I started to overcome my fear. I committed to making 10 videos. What I didn't know is that I would fall in love with videography, and I've had so much fun with it. I was just like, man, let's continue this. From that house, I moved out of state. I was in Kansas. We moved to Arkansas, moved into another apartment. This time I was able to have a garage in the apartment. It was so hot in there. So the difficulty is to be able to get this mounted on the bow with making it completely silent when I shoot. And I was just grinding, working the jobs I could. I drove for Uber Eats to make extra money. And so what I would do is I'd start making a video in this garage apartment, and people would be walking past because there's no lights in there. I'd have the garage door open, and then I would get an order and I would run over to our car and go deliver it, come back and try to make a video. Those days were hard but extremely fun. Then from there I moved into a house and we got the cave. Technically just a crawl space, insulation in the ceiling, but we got the cave. That's trash. That's more trash. That's a lot more trash. All that trash came out of this dark, gloomy workshop. So this is the new workshop. I'm excited about it, but you can see it's kind of gloomy and dark down here. I painted it and I fixed it up. I started gathering more tools, and that's when I decided this is going to be a business. And the cave served us so well, but recently we just had to say goodbye to the cave. We said goodbye to the cave for a very good reason, because we moved all the way over here. We're in the state of Colorado now, me and my wife, and we're very, very excited. We wanted to live here for a long time, and basically life circumstances came together where we couldn't move here. So we're so pumped about this new place. I've got a 2-car garage now that we're turning into the shop. I'm really excited to make this home for this YouTube channel. Table saw on the opposite side of the bandsaw, perfect height, run onto the table. We got the belt sander, the spindle sander, and the drill press. We've got our collection of hand tools. I just have what I use most of all right here. So that is how I've got here. Now this is the part I want to remind you guys of. The shop doesn't make the bow maker or the bowyer necessarily. Tools can help. The bow doesn't make the archer. The bow can help. A nicer bow can help shoot, but if you have terrible and awful form with a not very nice bow, when you go to a nicer bow, your form's gonna be the same and you're gonna need to correct that. It's that lack of ownership that we take that keeps us from growing in life. So in saying all of that, it's not the shop that makes the person, it's not the bow that makes the person, it's you. It's what's special in you that makes you who you are. And if you realize that, and if you have that mindset, life's gonna be much more enjoyable for you than everything in life just happening to you. But I did want to say, and I did want to remind you, in every area of life, or your archery or your hobbies, let's not make excuses. This is something I'm working on. Over here, we've got a bow that's unopened, a bunch of old arrows, our bow collection, a bunch of bows, a bunch of willow bows, a bunch of staves, a bunch of wood. I'm really excited to get back to working on all of this. Hey, a tillering stick, a tillering tree, chop saw, shop vac, more clamps, but welcome to the new shop. Guys, 100,000 subscribers. I can't believe it. I'm so pumped. I would have never thought this would have happened. Like, you probably hear every person on YouTube say that, but I think everyone's telling the truth, because I heard people say that and I was like, but you're so good. And then I'm here and I feel like I have so much to improve on, and it just blows my mind that you guys would be watching. So thank you so much. I'm having the time of my life, even though it's not easy whatsoever. Oh, and that comment I was talking about, I actually am not gonna share it because I don't like to entertain negative thoughts. We stay positive here. Remember, I tell you to be positive. I remind you I'm for you, and I remind you to stay shatterproof. What does shatterproof mean? Shatterproof means the ability to be resilient over a long period of time. Resilience is the ability to bend and not break. So when you bend and things come at you over a long period of time and you don't break, you start to become shatterproof. That's why we started Shatterproof Archery, not because we want to shoot bows that are shatterproof, we want to be shatterproof inside. So this is the welcome to the new shop video. Thank you so much for joining me today. We're gonna get back into bow building, archery shooting, arrow building. Arrow building, yes, there's gonna be so much awesome things coming. So with that being said, stay positive, be shatterproof, and I'll see you on the next video.